Welcome back to the Coronavirus and Kansas Small Business Survival video series. I am Matt Tesaro. Today I have the pleasure of being joined by Miles Bassett, owner of Wildman Web Solutions. Miles, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And how about you explain to the audience kind of what you do under normal circumstances? I know you're doing a lot of that still now, but what is your business under normal circumstances?
Under normal circumstances. Wildman Web Solutions is a digital agency based in Lawrence, Kansas. We do focus on working with small to medium-sized businesses and helping them to reach their business goals and grow using technology and digital marketing. We try to be sort of a full service, one-stop type shop. So you're not going to this person for your website, this person for an app, this person for marketing. You can kind of just go through us for everything. Makes it a little bit easier especially for the businesses on the smallest end of the distribution.
And so I know you've been doing a lot of pro bono work here, a lot of discounted work for clients and new clients. In the last 2 or 3 weeks since the crisis has really hit, what sort of needs are you juggling for folks?
Yeah, well, as you put it, we've kind of put a lot of our normal project work on hold and prioritize getting businesses online, especially a lot of the ones that don't normally operate that way. So, restaurants and event venues and businesses that really focus on getting people all in one area, and they need social gathering. A lot of these businesses didn't really exist online before, or their online presence was fairly minimal. So we've been jumping in there trying to get them set up with e-commerce or gift cards or merchandising, either getting their normal business online or trying to find them some additional income streams if their normal business is kind of dried up a bit.
I know relief is a relative term right now, but are you finding business owners being relieved that they finally have a website, or relieved that they finally have a component of their website that maybe they've been dragging their feet on? Because I know I've thought multiple times during this entire crisis that necessity is the mother of invention.
Oh, that's really true. Yeah, necessity really is it's a good driver of progress. So I have found, I don't know if relief is exactly the right word, but I've definitely found a lot of the people that we've worked with have said similar things, saying, I've thought about doing this for a long time, or I've been meaning to get around to do this. I know my website should be better. I know that I should be leveraging e-commerce, not just selling stuff in my brick and mortar shop. I know that I should be doing marketing on social media, and I just hadn't gotten around to doing that. Unfortunately, a lot of these things haven't really, played a direct role in a lot of people's day-to-day lives, especially with a lot of the businesses that I was just talking about. And now it is right there at the forefront. It's unavoidable. You have to work in this way, and so it's forcing people to think about a lot of these items that maybe got put on the back burner for a little bit too long.
And in full disclosure, my team produces some videos for shared clients with Miles. So are you starting to see clients who say, "Hey, I'm going to be at home for a month or so. I can now dedicate time to focus on this project"? Because for me, I'm starting to have those conversations about, the video project that an office or a marketing director just really couldn't focus on.
Yeah, we're getting kind of a strange dichotomy of businesses where you got both ends of the extreme. Uh, Weirdly enough, there are some businesses that really do very well in a situation like this. We're talking about wealth advisors, people who manage investments. When money starts moving around like this, if you're the one doing the money moving, then all of a sudden you're really busy. And then you've got other businesses like the ones that you're mentioning here, which maybe all of a sudden have a lot of time on their hands, or got a couple of clients that they're just looking for good things for their employees to be doing while maybe they can't do their regular activities, and they're using those extra resources, that extra time to dedicate to some of these items that we're talking about here. So I'm kind of going back and forth between working with the guy that has just found himself with 8 extra hours a day and wants to dedicate it to investing into his business, developing a new website or really diving into a long-term marketing campaign. And then I've got existing clients that are normally super responsive that are now working 14-hour days and don't know what to do with themselves, and are coming with me to try to capitalize on this busy time, but are definitely not those. They're definitely working with two very different challenges.
I have a lot of clients, Miles, who their name is the business. It's whether it's an agent or a sole proprietor or designer, their name is the business. And they always say, especially around the new year, this is the year I'm going to do a blog, and every blog's going to have a video, and we're going to do a monthly update. And, it just, in reality, it just doesn't happen for a lot of businesses.
We've all been guilty of that.
For the person who is watching this, a professional who says, hey, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and knock out 12 blog articles, for example, or something to that effect, what would be your advice on just a general website, maybe some food for thought that you can give that person?
Well, I think it kind of depends on where they are. If they've already gotten the work done and they have the platform, say they have the good website, they have the blogging capabilities, they have the material or the knowledge, the know-how in order to put out some good content, then they are absolutely in the position to do exactly what you just talked about. Really put their heads down, uh, do a lot of writing, do a lot of content creation. I'd say for them, run it by a bunch of different people. Do a little bit of research because online writing, online content creation isn't necessarily the same as other content creation. For example, if you're writing an article for a magazine versus writing an article for a blog, you might have to think about SEO or other search terms. You might have to think about the technical side of things, how things are going to display on your website. If your headings are actually if you're using the right markup, so your headings are H1s rather than just big bold text or something along those lines. There is a little bit of technical knowledge needed there. So maybe now's the time to do a little research. If you're not to that point, you don't have the platform, you don't have the website put together, again, unfortunately, my answer is going to be research. Before you take a jump for something to a platform like that, before you really put all the time into creating all that content, do a little bit of research, figure out exactly how you want to get it out there, what platform you want to work on. If you want to do writing, if you want to do audio, if you want to do video, there's tons of options out there, and there's bound to be one that fits you. Part of that research could be reaching out to local experts, talking to me about websites, talking to you about video. Reach out. There's a lot of really great local resources here.
Aside from maybe not having a website or not having e-commerce set up, what are some common mistakes that you're finding businesses had made before this moment on the website front?
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of those mistakes tie back to the previous point, and that's just procrastination up to this point. It's not necessarily that they've done something and maybe they should have done something different or they did that wrong. It's more that they know, the business owner knows that, hey, I should have been doing this, or I've known that my website it really wasn't very great for a long time, but just hadn't really gotten around to working on it. So a lot of the people that I'm working with now are people that have had those realizations. They know that some things maybe aren't where they should be, or something's a little subpar, and so they come to me to help them fix it when they get a little bit more time on their hands, like right now.
Are you seeing any changes in terms of online traffic, for the websites that you host or your own website, versus kind of what the norm is?
Yeah, there's been a lot of different spikes across the net, looking at private websites like ours or our clients, looking at social media websites, Facebook and Twitter, all of their, they're constantly measuring how many people are on at what times, and how they're using all these different platforms. And hopefully, people out there have some sort of system in place to measure how people are using their websites. Unfortunately, things have been so erratic. There hasn't been, at least as far as I've seen, there haven't been any giant emerging trends happening or anything actionable there,
So do you
outside
think
of an overall
that all
growth.
the old norms are out the window?
Yeah, definitely. So, if you Google around, you'll see that there's a lot of different charts out there saying, this is the best time to post to Twitter, and this is the best of the time during the day to post to Facebook. And like all of those things are just gone.
Yeah, I get that.
Normal trends are out the window. But there is one overarching trend that is definitely happening everywhere, and that's just more. As you would have guessed, people are home, people are bored, they're all over the internet now. They're hitting every website, every platform, just that much more.
Later this week, check out part 2 of my conversation with Miles Bassett as he touches on other new technologies that Kansas small businesses are deploying, even in the face of a global pandemic. We're talking about custom apps, PWAs, and more. In fact, I will be dedicating this entire week of the Coronavirus and Kansas Small Business Survival video series to digital media. I will be picking the brain of digital pros much smarter than me to find out what Kansas small business owners can do while their hands are somewhat tied with stay-at-home orders. We're talking about website design, blogging, Facebook ads, apps, other social media, and more. Watch for a new video on YouTube every night at 10.